Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Onalena, and I'm honored to introduce our group's project. Our topic is investigating challenges of remote learning assessment in curriculum development in higher education. With the recent surge in distance learning, higher education has become much more flexible and accessible. Students and educators now have more opportunities to connect and learn from anywhere. However, this shift to remote learning has also brought several important challenges, especially when it comes to assessment. First, there's the issue of unequal access to technology and reliable internet. Not all students have the same resources, which can make assessment unfair. Second, maintaining academic integrity is harder online, with increased concern about cheating or plagiarism. Third, it's often difficult to keep students engaged during remote assessment, which can affect their performance and learning outcomes. Finally, educators need to develop new digital skills to create and manage effective online assessment. Despite these challenges, there's still limited understanding of how they specifically affect curriculum planning and assessment across different disciplines. This is the research gap our study aims to address. Our main goal is to explore these challenges in depth and understand their impact on curriculum development in higher education. We also want to provide practical insights and recommendations for creating fair, inclusive, and robust assessment frameworks that maintain quality, equity, and integrity in remote learning. Thank you for your attention. I look forward to discuss our findings and ideas with you.
Good day, everybody. My name is Phokazi Dlamini. I will be talking about the role of feedback in enhancing remote learning in the higher education sector. I'll be focused on our research questions and our objectives. For our questions, we have the following. What are considered as difficulties faced by institutions of higher learning when evaluating students remotely? The second question is, are there any technological difficulties that can potentially pose as a threat during remote learning in our higher education sector? Lastly, how can we ensure that students are integral during remote learning? Will this not affect the standards of the results in institutions of higher learning? Moving on to our research objectives, the first is to investigate difficulties experienced by institutions of higher learning during assessing students through implementation of remote methods. The second question, rather objective, is to investigate the technological barriers that tend to hinder the access of remote learning in institutions of higher learning, for example, your data. And the last objective that I have is to investigate different plans of actions for the promotion of integrity in the use of remote learning. Remember that feedback plays an important role in the support of students and overall learning and understanding and development in our higher education sector. Now, when it comes to remote learning, we often face challenges. In this way, feedback is very important to be looked into and how it is delivered.
My name is Busiso Tabonkosi. I'll be doing literature review. One of the elements is higher education assessment, new paradigm. Assessment is shifting to more formative, adaptable, and learner-centered approaches. Learning management systems are central, requiring alignment with digital, the pedagogies, and curricular outcomes. Number two, we have the current challenges in remote learning assessment. Remote learning has increased the challenges related to academic and also student engagement and also digital inequities. Number three, we have curriculum development and assessment alignment. We have the digital teaching methods are often basic, compromising what the basic education quality. Education is often compromised while temporarily relying on remote education. Number four, we have technological competency and assessment design. Unequal digital literacy of academic staff has led to poor virtual assessment quality. Number five, we have student engagement and feedback. Feedback is very important and significant in learning. Feedback in distance learning is often delayed and impersonal, leading to student isolation. Number 6, we have equity and inclusion in assessment. Disparities among students, especially those in rural areas, low income, and also disabilities backgrounds were more put in spotlight during the pandemic. Number 7, we have policy and institutional support. Lack of a comprehensive institutional policies hampers effective online assessment. Thank you.
Good day, colleagues. I'm Tigane. I'm covering research design and methodology. In this study, we employed qualitative research design to investigate the perceptions of academic staff and students relating to assessment practices after the transition to online learning at higher education level. Information here was gathered through semi-structured interviews, open-ended surveys, data from selected participants across the fields of institution. An inductive and thematic analysis was conducted based on the thematic analysis to identify themes and generate insights from the data. Ethical approval was granted and participants consented to their participation. We sought to explore participants' subjects' experiences and the challenge they encountered and the skills they developed, and then reflect on implications of the curriculum and assessment.
Good day, colleagues. My name is Mr. TJ Munyai. I'm one of the group members of Group 8. I'm presenting the first findings of our presentation. Under technological challenges, the first problem will arise in internet access and digital resources for the disadvantaged students, as well as experience with online platforms and learning management systems. The last one will be disproportionate impact on learners from disadvantaged background. Under assessment design and curriculum, many assessments were not effectively adapted for online delivery, and the material were often clear and indicating a need for secular recruiting. I thank you for the first finding of the Group 8. Thank you.
My name is Ndandokazi Mabungela, and I'll be presenting the results of the study. The results on effectiveness of hybrid data collection post-COVID-19 in academic research demonstrate greater uptake and efficiency, especially when it comes to resolving issues with data collection limitations and distant learning. The key themes for the study were availability and flexibility. 7 out of 10 participants valued hybrid models for enabling participation across different time zones and locations, enhancing inclusivity. Under social contact preference, 6 participants preferred face-to-face interactions to build trust and engagement during data collection. Under data depth and value, 5 participants noted that direct interaction methods yield richer data compared to online-only tools. Under moral confidentiality concerns, 3 participants raised ethical issues about data privacy and unclear informed consent in online research settings. And lastly, technical encounters. 4 participants experienced barriers such as unreliable internet and limited digital skills, which affected the participation. Thank you.
Greetings, everyone. I would like to thank my previous speaker. Speaking here is Mr. Mashamba, and I'll be continuing the presentation by discussing the findings. Now, we discovered that after a thorough immense investigation, feedback was often delayed and its effectiveness to teaching and learning was reduced. Now, this was because of lack of timely interactions between students or facilitators and students. Now, the main cause for this lack of timely interaction between students and learners was connectivity issues, because most students from low or underprivileged backgrounds had difficulties with connectivity issues, and this also always posed a threat for their academic inclusivity. Now, we believe that systemic reforms and policy reforms needs to adapted, and teaching methodologies or teaching pedagogical structures needs to be improved, and also infrastructure needs to be improved. Now, this will offer equality in teaching, reliability in teaching, and quality in assessments. Now, I would like to hand over the presentation to the next speaker to wrap up our presentation. Thank you.
Good day, my name is Ace Swana. My part on this assessment is just to conclude. Online learning has significantly transformed how assessment is supposed to be delivered. While it's bring flexibility and innovation, it is also introduced several changes and also bring several challenges. These includes ensuring equity for all students, maintaining academic integrity, and questioning how effective some online assessment truly are. Furthermore, a traditional assessment method like handwritten exams or in-person presentation often don't translate well into the digital space, calling for new adaptable strategies. So, to ensure the success of online assessment, they must be both inclusive and flexible, and they must all catering to diverse student need and context. At the heart of effective online assessments is strong pedagogy must be introduced, a clear learning goals, and appropriate tools and meaningful feedback. So, most importantly, we need to adapt student-centered approaches that prioritize engagement, support, as well as learning outcomes over more context delivery. Thank you. I will just hand over to my colleague who will speak more about the recommendation.
Good day to each and every one of you. My name is Vama Vungwana and I'll be doing recommendations under the topic that says challenges on remote learning assessments curriculum in higher education. As remote and distance learning became more common, it is important to study how online tests and assessments affect students over time. We also need to look at the different ways of testing like project, open book, and portfolios. Listening to students' feedback is the key because it helps us to actually create fair and more flexible assessments that put students first. This means that universities should create a clear and a fair rule on online tests. This should also train teachers to do online assessments as well, improve technology access to all students, and more support on online tutorials and mental health services. We should also know how to actually invent new ways of testing and focusing on the real world skills. Helpful feedback creates critical thinking. I thank you all.